we talk about new technology coming in. There's a lot of heritage legacy technology that slowly starts to become less and less, relevant on sites. I'll use an example. I mean, copper more and more is starting to be seen as a very specialty application, and I'm sure in maybe a decade or two, it's going to be a hipster thing, right? I run copper, and it's like because we look at it 20 years from now, it's all the apprentices that are coming through the program now that are going to be out in the field, and everybody's using either the polypropylene fusion or PEX or something else. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I like copper. I just like the look and stuff of it. Like it's just a personal preference or like working
hipster.
with it.
It's funny when ProPress first came out, I was like, no, I'll solder. Like, get that crap out of here.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And now it's like, man, I remember freezing pipes at 3 a.m. because we had to, just so I could solder this joint, and there wasn't enough whole grain bread in the building to stop that old gate valve from leaking. And I'm like, man, I wish I had one of those ProPress, right?
Yeah.
So
the technology is like, it's awesome, really. Like, like you say, just a little bit of water coming through, and you're never going to solder that joint, kind of thing. Like, whereas if you press it, it could be flowing.
Oh, exactly.
Crimp and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that when we look at kind of the way that the education is constantly changing, is that something that you think will ever be kind of phased out? Or do you see that? I mean, it's always a part of the basic education. And I know that
Copper and that?
Copper and any of the other...
Some of the stuff that
like even like cast iron pipe, for example, it is something that's very specific.
Lead and oakum joints.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, it'll become a specialty, right? I think there'll always be a spot for it in the, in the outlines and in the education. I can't see them just abandoning it entirely. But I think absolutely as things progress, it'll become a bit of a background item. And it'll just be like, there'll be that kid in the class who's like, I solder all the time. I'm a solder wizard. And he'll be like super proud of it. And everyone else will be like, strange.
Yeah.
Right?
It's funny. I worked with this plumber from Germany, and he, like, total old school guy. He would solder, and it was just his thumb on his joints to wipe his joints. Oof. And I was like, man, like how thick is that callus? Like,
how's the lead content in your blood?
Exactly.